Hello students, I am Reena. Welcome to Math Fam. So today we'll see what do we learn in linear equation in two variable. Now what happened in grade 9 you have learned a linear equation. What is the meaning of linear equation in two variable? It is always in the form of ax plus by plus c equals to 0 form. Where if you'll see x is the variable, y is the variable, they both cannot be equals to 0, right? Or y cannot be equals to 0 where a, b, c are the real numbers, correct? So what do we see here? There is only one equation where a, b, c are real numbers and they both are not 0, right? So how many solutions do we see if there is a linear equation in two variable? We can see that there are infinite solution because for every one x value y is going to be one specific value. So how many x values can we take here? We can take infinite values because x is the independent variable, right? So there can be infinite solution of a linear equation in two variables, right? If there is one linear equation. And which kind of graph do we get it here? The graph of a linear equation is always a straight line. If you will see that this is the graph of the linear equation, how do we get it here? You can take any values of x and there will be one corresponding value of y. Then again here x is 3, so y is 0. And then if you'll see these are the combination of x and y coordinates. These are the solutions, and if you put it on the graph, you always get a straight line for a linear equation, right? Now what do we call here? If you know that, you should know these terms. Wherever the graph cuts x-axis, that we call it as x-intercept, and wherever your graph cuts y-axis, we call it as y-intercept, right? So the coordinates of on x-intercept, y-coordinate will always be 0, and in the y-intercept, x coordinate will always be 0. Now if my equation is not having y variable, right? If it is in the form of x equals to a or x is 0 to this, it is always going to be parallel to y axis, because if you see like example here, all the values here x is fixed, x is 2 for all the different values of y. Similarly, if I take x is minus 3 here also for all the different values of y, x is fixed. So it's always parallel to here y-axis. Now similarly, if y equals to b, it is going to be parallel to x-axis, for because here for any value of x, y is fixed, right? So if it is on the x-axis, your equation is going to be y equals to 0, right? Now in grade 10, you learn here pair of linear equations. So pair means there are two linear equations. So what is the standard form of it? Ax, a1x plus b1y plus c1 equals to 0. This is your one of the equation. Then your a2x plus b2y plus c2 is equals to 0. This is another equation. Now how many solution do we get it here? So there are different types of solution here. There can be one unique solution. They can be, if the lines are parallel, there is no solution. If there are intersecting line, there is one solution. And if there are coincident line, there are infinite solutions. So that we decide the graph and consistency based on types of lines, right? So what are the relationship between coefficients? So when we are saying here coefficient, we take it here a1 b1 c1 here. See here a1 b1 c1 and a2 b2 c2. So these rules you have to remember. If there are intersecting line, we call the solutions, this is called independent and consistent pair of linear equation. And this rule you have to remember, the coefficient ratio, if you take it a1 by a2, is never equals to b1 by b2. So when you see the equation, you know whether it's an intersecting line or not, right? So how the graph will be there? If there are two lines L1 and L2, for intersecting line, they are always going to intersect at one unique point, and that point of intersection is called the unique solution. So that's why we'll always have one unique solution for any intersecting lines, right? Then we will have coincident line. Coincident line means it is coinciding on each other. So we call it as dependent or consistent pair of linear equation. And this rule you have to remember. This is the ratio between their coefficient a1 by a2 equals to b1 by b2 equals to c1 by c2, right? Where do we use these rules here? If you see here, most of the time objective type of question or one 2 marker question will be based on this. Now here what happens, coincident line means, if you will see here, there is one line L1, right? If you'll see here, green color line is L1 and pink color line here, it's L2, and it's coinciding, so it is on top of each other, right? So every point is meeting to the other point of the corresponding line. So that's why there are infinitely many solutions. Every point of intersection of these two lines will make one solution. So this is called, the graph is going to be coincident line, infinitely many solutions. Similarly, when there are parallel lines, they call it as inconsistent pair of linear equation. And what is the rule here? A1 by A2 is equals to B1 by B2, but won't be equals to C1 by C2. So these rules you have to remember. And parallel lines are always equidistant. They will never intersect. They will never meet. So that is why we will never have any solution, right? So these kind of, based on these rules, mostly you will have MCQ or 2 marker question. Now, when there are equation and if they are intersecting line, there will be method to solve those equation. So what is the first method we know? First method is substitution method. Now if you see here, there are two equations given. Now from one equation you substitute x or y to the other equation, right? So here what is written in the second equation, you can see the coefficient. So I'll take equation 1 to substitute. If I transpose 2y to the right side, if you see x is equals to 2y. So I'm having the value of x and I can substitute in equation 2. So here in place of x, you will substitute 2y. And you see here, then we'll be getting here 10y is equals to 20 and y value is 2. Now similarly, from any one equation, if you substitute y, you can get the value of x. So here I am substituting x is equals to 2y. So x equals to 4. Now what is the way to verify these solutions? Because all the linear equation, you can check your answer whether it is right or wrong. So what you will do, because x coordinate, y coordinate, if you will substitute in any of the equation. So your first equation was x minus 2y. If I substitute, I am getting 0, which is equals to RHS, right hand side. See here, this is equals to RHS. Similarly, in the second equation, if I substitute here x and y, x is 4, y is 2. So it's 12 plus 8 minus 20, which is 0. And we are reaching to right hand side. So that means our answer is right. So every solution you can check your answer here. Now the second method is elimination method. In elimination method, you remove one of the variable, right? You eliminate one of the variable to reach to get the value of the other variable. So first thing, whenever there is equation in the fractional form, by finding the LCM, you have LCM is 6. So the denominator can be transposed to right hand side. So now your first equation is without the denominator. Similarly, in the second equation, find out the LCM, transpose the common denominator to the RHS. This is your second equation, right? Now here if I see, you see one of the variable coefficient should be same, then only it can be eliminated by adding or subtracting. Now here if I see 3x and 3x, they both are the same value. But if I add, it will become 6x. If I subtract, it will become 0. So I'll do the subtraction, right? And whenever you subtract, the sign of each term will change. Negative becomes positive, positive becomes negative. Then you can see that this becomes 0. Then 4y plus y will be 5y equals to minus 15. And we are getting y value as minus 3, right? Similarly, once you get this value, you can substitute in the one of the equation and you will get x is equals to 2. So you can follow what is the method in elimination method. You need to make one of the variables same, coefficient same, right? And you are going to remove it. Now the third method is graphical method. Graphical method, you will be given graph and you know that any intersecting line will have a unique solution. The coincident line will have infinite solutions and the parallel lines will not have any solution. Now what is given here? Champa went to sale to purchase some pants and skirt. When her friends asked her how many each she has bought, she answered the number of skirt is 2 less than twice the number of pants she purchased. So these kind of question can be 5 marker because you need to frame the equation and then you need to solve the equation to reach to the answer, right? And also number of skirt is 4 less than 4 times the number of pants she purchased. So how are you going to do it? If I take the number of pants is x and number of skirt is y, because there are two unknown, it's written here number of skirt is 2 less than twice the number of pants she purchased. So this is your first equation and the second equation will be number of skirt, which is y, is 4 less than 4 times the pants she purchased. Now how do we solve it? Last year you have learned how to put it each equation on the graph. You will take minimum 3 solutions. by using this. If I substitute here 2, I'll get 0. Then you can take this is y-intercept, you'll get 1, and one more any value, right? So once you get this solution and another three pair of solution, you are going to mark it. If you draw the straight line, wherever these straight lines linear graph intersect that point of intersection, we call this as unique solution. So here what is the required solution? If you see, because this point of intersection is 0 comma 1. Now 0 comma 1 means this is x, this is y, that means she bought 1 pant and 0 skirt. Now these kind of questions will be there. There can be one marker objective type of question, there can be two marker question based on relationship between coefficient, then elimination method or substitution method to solve the equation, and then there are three marker questions, same thing here, again elimination method, and five marker questions can be word problem or graph based question. There can be one case study question also in your paper. So hope you got that. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe. Also keep practicing.